Philip asked me to speak today about community, about Pat's community, about our community. And as Sue and Mike were speaking, I couldn't help thinking about something I watched just a few nights ago, late at night, couldn't sleep, and it was Carl Sagan speaking. And he was describing how infinitely large the universe is, how these radio satellites collect just this infinitesimally small piece of light every night, and through time they gather an image of how enormous our galaxy is, our universe is, how it extends on and is growing. And then he moved to bring you into your body and into the infinitesimally small, into looking at our atoms and the molecules and how that just extends itself into this infinitesimally small space. And he brought that together and said that we're held here in the middle of those two places. And we're held here with these questions of mystery. And the question of mystery isn't necessarily answerable. But he said something that very much struck me, and I thought about it as I was listening to the speeches earlier. The question he asked is, in this divine space that we live in, how did we get here? Who created this? And did the gods create this and they're only dreaming of us? Or are we creating the gods by dreaming of them? And I have that same question right now in this mystery with Pat. Is Pat dreaming of us right now? Because we certainly are in this sacred place, remembering and reflecting on him. It's a deep mystery why we're here right now. Why Pat died? Why right now? I don't think all of that's answerable. Or maybe not very much of it is answerable. But there are things we know. We know we're here together because Pat's life has profoundly touched all of us. We know we're here together because Pat's love has profoundly touched all of us. A few nights ago at Mike's, Gavin said something to me, and he said, and it expresses all of this perfectly and beautifully. He said, Pat's light has reached in. It's reached into us and found us, and here we are. So what I know is that we're here to celebrate Pat's life and celebrate what Pat's brought and celebrate how we're joined together through that life and that love. And I know we're also here to mourn our loss. It's in this moment right now, this place, right here in time, right here in this hall, we're all here connected through Pat. And we're all here connected to Pat and with Pat. It is in this moment that Pat is the exact and detailed center of our community and our universe. And the love that we have for him is what keeps us together in this community and in this moment. As I was thinking about what I was going to say today, there was this other thought keep surfacing, and it was a part of a speech from Chief Seattle. And he said this, he says, "This we know, all things are connected, like the blood that connects one family. All things are connected." And in many ways, as community, we're family. Our lives and our families, that circle, those circles of our lives and the energy of our lives overlap. And and we're dynamically intertwined. The circles of our lives and our families and our children, they overlap, and at the same time they dissolve. They dissolve because that line between family and community, at times of deeply feeling the love between us, just isn't there. It was this that Pat reminded me of. It was this every time I saw Pat, and every time he looked at me, and every time his eyes met my eyes, and every time he laughed, that he reminded me of this, that those lines are dissolved, and we're connected, and we're deeply connected to each other in this feeling and in this place of love. He did this somehow by never laughing at me. Which I may have given him an excuse or two to possibly do that at Wine Club. But he always just laughed with me. It was always with me. There was this feeling of acceptance and no judgment and belonging. And in Pat's ability to do that, in that laugh and in his eyes meeting, I think his natural gift was to give us permission to fully just be ourselves. He just gave us that permission with his laugh and with his eyes and with his smile to just fully be ourselves. He invited us into a deeper place of connection. And he knew that connection was in this community all around us. When he laughed with you. There was no judgment. There's an invitation. Pat, by his very nature, giving us that permission. And his laugh was a reminder that we're all here together, sharing this love. So how do we honor that now, and how do we hold the energy of this moment, celebrate his life, and move forward into the future? There's a Gnostic creation myth that goes something like this. In the beginning, the divine other created all that is, all matter, all space, and all time. And his wife, Sophia, his divine wife, Sophia, breathed life into that matter and into that space and into that time. And that love's embodied and trapped within us. It's held within us. It's held within our community. It's held within our bodies. And this matter and this energy, this is the energy of love that holds us together in community. So how do we honor Pat? Perhaps it is to remember that Pat reminded us of this so graciously. He reminded us that we are loved. And perhaps somehow he was reminding us that we are loved. Perhaps we can honor Pat simply by laughing together, being ridiculously foolish sometimes, and remind us of this by crying together. By mourning what we lost and mourning what we're missing, really embracing that sorrow. And through this sharing and remembering of Pat's laughter and his acceptance and his welcoming eyes, through this, perhaps we will breathe that life and that love into our community in every memory of him.